started with fire falling from the sky. Not sparks or embers, but fire, real. Burning fire pouring down like rain. People screamed and ran, but there was no escape. Sodom was being destroyed, and nothing could stop it. I wasn't in the city when it happened, but I remember everything leading up to it. Ibrahim, my master, had pleaded with God to spare the city. He begged over and over, asking if God could spare it for 50 good people, then 45, then 40, then all the way down to 10. Each time, God said he would not destroy it if even 10 good people were found. But there weren't 10. That night, Lot, Ibrahim's nephew, was in his house when two strangers arrived. Lot told me about it later. These weren't ordinary men, they were angels sent by God. Lot met them at the city gate and immediately begged them to stay at his home. He knew the kind of city Sodom was and didn't want them to sleep in the streets. At first, the strangers refused, saying they would stay in the square. But Lot insisted and they finally agreed. Before long, word spread through the city that Lot had visitors. By nightfall, a mob of men surrounded his house. They were angry, shouting and demanding,
"Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so we can harm them."
Lot stepped outside, shutting the door behind him. He raised his hands, trying to calm the crowd.
"Please, my brothers,"
he said,
"don't do this wicked thing."
Then Lot said something I could hardly believe when I heard about it. In his desperation to protect the strangers, he offered the mob his own daughters.
"I have 2 daughters who have never been with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do whatever you like with them. But don't do anything to these men, for they have come under my protection. Please."
The crowd didn't care. They shouted back,
"Get out of our way! This man came here as a foreigner and now he thinks he's our judge. Who'll treat you worse than them?"
They surged forward, ready to break down the door. That's when the angels acted. They pulled Lot back inside and slammed the door shut. Then they struck the mob with blindness. Suddenly, the men outside were stumbling, grabbing at the walls, unable to see. The angels turned to Lot.
"Get your family and leave.
They said,
We are here to destroy this city. The outcry against it is so great that the Lord has sent us to wipe it out."
Lot tried to warn his sons-in-law, but they laughed at him.
"You are joking."
They said, so Lot left with only his wife and 2 daughters.
"Don't look back.
The angels warned.
Run to the hills and don't stop."
As Lot and his family fled, the destruction began. Fire and sulfur rained down from the sky, consuming everything. The buildings, the fields, the people. The heat was unbearable, even from far away. Lot's wife disobeyed the angels. She turned to look back at the city one last time. In that moment, she froze, turning into a pillar of salt. Lot and his daughters kept running, leaving everything behind. From where I stood with Ibrahim, we could see the smoke rising in the distance, dark and thick like the smoke of a furnace. Ibrahim watched in silence, his face heavy with sorrow.
"There weren't even 10.
He said quietly. Sodom and Gomorrah were gone, wiped out because of their wickedness. Now, where those cities once stood, there is nothing but ash. A reminder of what happens when evil goes too far and no one listened to the warnings.